All right, so it's 7 o'clock on Monday, July 8th, 2019, and I'll call the meeting to order. And the first thing we'll do is stand for a moment of silent reflection. All right, is there any declaration of human interest or general nature thereof? I just have one, and it's in regards to the delegation for 720, which is for the Napier Schoolhouse, which I know as the Napier WI Hall, and my wife is the secretary-treasurer of that organization. Moving on to the minutes of the previous meeting, which is June 17th, 2019. Mover and seconder for those minutes. Okay, seconder. So that was Councillor McKinnon and Deputy Mayor Hendricks. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Moving into the correspondence, the upcoming conferences, seminars, and meetings. Our next regular meeting is on Monday, July 22nd, and then August 14th, and then Tuesday, September 3rd. The Kerwood Fireman's Fish Fry is coming up on August 24th, 2019 at the Kerwood Park, and I'm sure all the local firemen and our fire chief has tickets available for us.
Excuse me.
Yep.
So, if the meeting now is on August 14th, I can make it. I thought it was going to be on the 12th, the Monday.
Oh, sorry, it is the 12th. That's my mistake.
Okay. Then I won't be here, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's my mistake.
I just read Monday, I assumed it was on Monday.
It's supposed to be the 12th.
Okay, we'll get that corrected. Okay, so item number 1 is from the Optimist, and it's the Sports Day and Barbecue being held on July 27th, 2019. Item number 2 is from AMO, and it's the 2019 conference program for August 18th to 21st in Ottawa. Moving into the recommended readings, item number 3 is from the Asauble Bayfield Conservation Authority, and it's the May 22nd, 2019 board meeting minutes, as well as the general manager's report for June 20th, 2019. Item number 5 is from CN, and it's the 2019 CN in Your Community. Councillor McKinnon?
Is this a name that we could address our concerns with Kerwood tracks? So correspondence will be sent. Thank you.
And just so everyone knows, I actually called the CN hotline, the public inquiry line, so that was at the end of June. They said they were going to get back to me with what they have found. I haven't received a call yet. I did receive an email that's similar to this information here on our correspondence, and I emailed back to that person investigating where that was at, and it said they were going to get back to me. So that was 3 days ago, and I have not received a reply yet. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can get something back, because those tracks are not good in the way they are. Item number 6 is from the Ontario Provincial Police, and it's the 2019 AMO Conference. Item number 7 is from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Bill 108, More Homes, More Choices. Item number 8 is from AMO, and it's the Cabinet Shuffle for dated June 29th, 2019. Item number 9 is from Blue Water Recycling Association, and that's for June 2019. Item number 10 is from SWIFT, and it's news for their spring 2019. Item number 11 is from SCORE, and it's their minutes of their board of directors as well as their staff report. And then item number 12 is from the VON, and it's a thank you note regarding the water donation. Into action items, item number 13 is from the Optimist, and it's a letter requesting sponsorship. And that's in regards to their upcoming Sports Day and Barbecue. Deputy Hendricks?
Yes, I understand this is sort of to reactivate what used to be Metcalfe days, and I'm wondering what participation the township would have had in those days.
Yeah.
So I can speak to that.
Sure.
Because I did after. It was always self-funded. So what they would do is they'd go to Parish and Humbucker, they'd go to the TD Bank, they'd go, and typically what would happen is they would get cash donations, and then like Catesville Woodcraft, they always donated something, and then tickets were sold on like a shelf or something. There was usually only one or two prizes that people would buy and make a ticket on, and the rest was donations from businesses and people in the community.
Councillor McKinnon?
I had nothing to add to that.
And I think it's kind of probably a good idea that they're doing advanced tickets, because having been on the other end of having to buy 100 pieces of chicken at the end of the night, because I didn't know what else to do with it, I think that's probably a good idea. So, and Gerald Sanders would have had, he bought the other half, so I mean, it was like.
Okay, so moving on to the next item, which is number 14. It's the Warwick resolution regarding enforcement for safety on family farms.
I thought we should support.
So moved by Councillor McKinnon,
Second.
seconded by Deputy Mayor Hendricks. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And lastly, item number 15 is the Kerwood Firemen's Association's request to waive fees.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Clark and Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, and we just need a resolution to resolve the council receive and file correspondence items CC1 to CC13. Councillor McKinnon and Councillor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And then we have the committee minutes from the Joint Health and Safety Committee for March 21st, 2019. Mover and seconder to receive those minutes. Councillor Brody and Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, moving into our staff reports. Our first report is from our drainage superintendent, Jim.
Okay, well, I know it's kind of self-explanatory, I think. This is certainly in progress since this was prepared. A couple drains have been repaired, and there's been probably 2 or 3 added. With this late spring, the holes in tile are still appearing, and farmers are calling about their open ditches. So it's been a very busy spring, but we're fortunately been able to knock a lot of them off. And the farmers, I have to say, have been extremely cooperative in allowing us in after the crops in to get them fixed. My experience has been in the past that they would often want to wait until fall, but you forget about where the holes are, and it's a little expensive and dangerous to put the crops in. So they've been cutting their losses, I guess, and allowing us in, and we're trying to minimize the damage, and we're getting them knocked off. So. Any questions?
Is there any questions all for Jim? Councillor McKinnon?
This is the first drainage report we've had given to council for some time, and I see that as a positive step. I think that's good to keep us informed of what's completed and what's in progress. And I was just wondering where you are in regards to the bylaws to get some of this money off of the books.
I would have to go to Kathy on that.
These are mainly maintenance ones, and they are completed. This is mostly anything that's completed, we bill out as it's completed. So we have 3 or 4 bylaws prepared for the next council meeting as well for the construction projects that have been completed.
Because I see there was about 113,000 sitting that had been completed but not billed out. So I was just wondering where we were in that cycle.
Well, I could say that's not my
Yeah, the drainage superintendent is the treasury, so we, you'll see from the drainage report coming up on the how we do those. They're billed out when they're completed, and the maintenance is added to the property taxes depending on what the level of cost is.
And we are trying to keep them current. The construction ones, though, are a little more difficult because they get tied up with the engineer trying to finalize things that, as Mary Ann had said earlier, with a rolled off them up here on Cuddy, we were almost a year trying to get the last bit of it, finalized, so that's been sitting on the books for that length of time.
And I guess through Mayor and through Kathy to you, Jim, my concern was the previous administrator wrote off a lot of costs because it was past the 5 years or the bylaws weren't completed, and I just didn't want that to happen again.
We are under deadlines, and we've abided by it this year, and I got all my maintenance calculated by the end of April, and then it's forwarded on for billing. So, no, I find it, in my experiences, the longer we leave it, properties change hands, and new property owners don't like getting billed for something that was done a year or two before. So we're really striving to keep it current.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions at all for Jim? Okay, so we need a motion then to resolve that council receive the drainage maintenance activity for the first half of 2019 report as presented by the drainage superintendent. Councilor Clark and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Excellent. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thanks,
Yep.
Jim.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next staff report, our clerks, Jennifer.
Thanks, Mayor Smith. So this is a report that you will see monthly, and it's in regards to any complaints that we've received regarding property standards or tidy yard. And to date, we've had 1 complaint, as you can see, and it's still ongoing as we're obtaining quotes for demolition. I don't have anything else to report on.
So did the property owner, through Mayor Flash, did the property owner board it up, or did the township board it up?
Through-
In the assessing?
Through you, Mayor, to Councillor Clark, we ended up boarding it up. There was a fire inspection done. They were issued a letter, no compliance was taken, or a request to have it extended. So we did another re-inspection, and it became a health and safety concern. An emergency order was placed, and staff took action to board up the lower level. And now we're in the midst of obtaining quotes to have it demolished.
Councilor McKinnon?
Through you to the clerk. Another good report.
Thank you.
I think that's really timely for all of us to see, and we can see how many complaints have been, acted on and where we're at, and so I think that's good.
No, but this also helps us from a liability
Yes.
standpoint. We've identified a problem and
That's
it's been
right.
acted on, because it's been sitting too long.
Sure.
Thanks.
Is there any other questions all on this report? Okay, move on to seconder to resolve that council receive the bylaw enforcement report as presented by the clerk.
So moved.
Councilor Clark and Councilor McKinnon, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And before I move on, I just want to say it's interesting that those bylaws have been passed for, is it a month and?
A month.
Two months, and there's been a lot of push to have those bylaws updated, and we've only received really the one which was council driven, so it's kind of interesting that we haven't received any other complaints yet, so.
There might not be awareness out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe, we need to have that either on our Facebook page or on the township website,
Yeah,
so they know.
through you, Mayor. I do have it on Facebook. I did post it on Facebook, and I also have it on our website.
Perfect.
Because I think if people know it's on the radar, there's, maybe there would take some action without having a gun to their head, but maybe not.
My second report is regarding emergency management. It's just an update to the June 17th staff report that I presented to council at the last report. Council appointed by motion the emergency information officer for emergency management program committee, as well appointed members by motion to the emergency control group. I still have not received any correspondence from Ontario Fire Marshal and Emergency Management regarding our 2018 compliance reporting. And under bylaws, you'll see bylaw 49 of 2019, and it's a bylaw to adopt an emergency management program for the township, and it also includes 2 appointments from the last council meeting. And within the emergency response plan, there's just been minor changes to contact information since we've had a change in council since the municipal election. So there's no financial impacts to this report. It's just information for council to know that there's the bylaws there for council approval.
Is there any questions at all? Mover and seconder to approve the report. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Motion to resolve that council approve the bylaw to adopt the emergency management program of the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe.
So,
Councilor Clark and Councilor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
My next report is regarding our Health and Safety Committee. It's been some time since the Joint Health and Safety Committee reviewed our township policy, the structure and functions to the committee since 2008. So currently the committee meets the compliance of meeting 3 times per year. The committee was formed in 2008. No known records can be found regarding the establishment of the committee being approved by council. So this is just me wanting to formalize everything. You'll see that there's 3 bylaws. Bylaw 50 is the structure and function of the Joint Occupational Health and Safety Committee. Bylaw 51 is the health and safety policy for the township. And bylaw 52 is the Joint Health and Safety Committee policy for the township. All 3 of these policies were approved by the Joint Health and Safety Committee on June 20th. And the committee will be reviewing all policies and updating as required by their respective legislation. Once the policies are approved, they will be brought forth to council for final approval and implementation. And I'll be responsible for the creation of the policies in each department. Fire, Public Works, and Administration will be responsible for their own standard operating guidelines, and the guidelines will not be expected to go to the Health and Safety Committee or to council for approval. Only the policies will come forth to the Joint Health and Safety Committee and to council for approval. The committee also reviewed the structure of the committee and have approved on a committee of 3 managers and 3 workers from each department. And as per the Occupational Health and Safety Act, the township is mandated to have a committee comprised of an even manager staff or worker ratio. Out of the committee members, 1 manager and 1 worker are required to have certification with refresher training within 3 years of being certified, and then refresher every 3 years after that. The Act requires that the committee to have a minimum of 2 members when we have a workplace that has fewer than 50 workers, and at least half the members must be workers employed at the workplace who do not exercise managerial functions. So currently, I think I don't have that attached. We have Aaron Nordoff, Jeff Denemy, and Jeff Little, who act as the managerial side. And right now we have Karen, Rob, Coulter Cahill, and
Jim
yes, thank you, Jim Reddick from the fire department for workers for all 3 departments. In order to comply with the Occupational Health and Safety Act as well as regulations under the Act and other acts, and to keep employees safe and on the job, health and safety is an ongoing expense. There's currently no training that's required at this point in time. It's just a matter of reviewing our policies and making sure we're compliant with all the legislation. So basically what I have attached there in the bylaws is 3 policies for council to approve for the starting of moving forward with getting things in order with the Health and Safety Committee.
Is there any questions at all? Okay, mover and seconder to receive the report. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And a motion to resolve that council approve the bylaws 50, 51, 52 of 2019 as recommended by the clerk for structure and function of the Joint Health and Safety Committee for the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe. Deputy Hendricks and Councilor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, so it's 7:20, so we're going to go back to the delegation for that time, and I declare a conflict for that, so I'll hand the meeting over to Deputy Hendricks. I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to throw you the gavel.
No, I'll just take it down.
That's good.
It's a power piece, is it?
It is. It's the talking stick.
Okay. So I welcome, just let me make sure I, all right?
Is that the gavel or?
Okay, I just had to make sure I've got the right name. So we've got Dana from Napier.
Yes, Dana and Nancy Bernier.
Okay.
And I had a folder for each and every one of you folks. And I will go through it all with you.
Thanks.
Ooh. And what we'd like to do tonight is talk to you about to the township and councilors here about the Napier School. Nancy and I are a bit of we're history freaks of Napier, basically to make it short. Well, we put a little presentation together for you tonight, and I started with a bit of a letter just explaining a little bit what we've done in the past. And just to read it with you, to the Township of Adelaide, Metcalfe, back in 2017, in doing some historical research, it came to my attention that the question of the ownership of the neglected Napier Schoolhouse, in order to find out, we sought out professional legal help from employing the services of Robert G. Waters of Waters and Bezaire, professional corporation. As I understand, he has worked for the township on many occasions in the past. He established the fact that the Napier Schoolhouse was in fact sitting in the middle of Mary Street and owned by the Township of Adelaide, Metcalfe. At that time, we had brought it to the attention of the township to see if we could close the road and purchase the property, and of course we heard nothing. So in January 2019, this past 2019, I brought in an offer to purchase with a letter of our intentions for the Napier School to be given to the councilors, but I understand it was not given to the councilors, so that's why we're here tonight, to let you know, our intentions. So, and here it is, Napier Schoolhouse. Okay, we, Dana and Nancy Bernier of Napier, would like to make a proposal to the council. Currently, we run a small museum in our garage with interesting artifacts of Napier, such as pictures and detailed information of the early pioneers of Napier. We've had historical societies, schools, distant relatives of Napier pioneers here to visit the museum from as far away as Nova Scotia and England. We would like to purchase the former Napier School in order to preserve and restore the building to be used as a museum. Napier has a very interesting history, but we'd like most of all, if it's not preserved and promoted, it will be soon forgotten, Napier's history. Now, what I would like to propose is to purchase from the Township of Adelaide, Metcalfe is the vacant Napier Schoolhouse. Now, I have provided a map from Robert Waters, and it looks like this, if you would like to follow along. And if you could see on that, you can see Mary Street and High Market Street where the school sits on, right in front of Mary Street. What we'd like to purchase from the Township of Metcalfe is the vacant Napier Schoolhouse by closing High Market Street that the school sits on and north of the schoolhouse to the west end of Mary Street for a septic system and the portion of Mary Street in front of the school which we use for parking. Now, there's another piece of paper below it which shows that other lot, which is right beside, and you can see the school on that lot. You see the picture there? That in blue is the lot, and in front, this is from a real estate. This is, and this is recent too, and it says owner name, the Corporation Township of Metcalfe. That's that lot that's in blue there. You folks own that. And what I would like to do is also, that section in front of the school, which is the width of a road, 66 feet by 66 feet, that would be used for parking. And you can see it's covered in thorn trees now, but it was at one time part of the road. So I would, in front of the school, that 66 by 66 would be for parking. The lot beside it, done in blue, would be 66 by 136 feet long, would be septic, it's flat as a pancake, but it is covered in thorn trees, which we'll remove. And of course, the road where the school's on and north of that. The map of Napier was provided by Rob Waters and is included for you to see the purchase proposal. For this, we'd like to offer the sum of $40,000. The schoolhouse has been vacant for several years. There is no hydro hooked up to the building, no water, no heat source of any kind. Currently, the windows are missing, leaving the building exposed to the natural elements, which will decompose the building at a faster rate. Our intent is to save it now for future generations to learn from. It is one of the last historic buildings of Napier. It can be a great draw to the schools and anyone with a connection of Napier and Metcalfe. Nancy and I are looking to restore the building back to its original condition as much as possible. It's been sitting vacant and neglected for far too long. Nancy and I will be volunteering our time and our money to make this possible. We have the passion and the knowledge to make it an extraordinary model of our heritage. I'm sure it would be a great expense, but saving a piece of Napier history is worth it to us. And that is what we would like to do. Now, I've also included several pictures which you can take a look at, and obviously I'll leave all this information for you. That's some of the artifacts that we have now in our museum. We have had people in to look at it from the outside. We don't have a key, folks have the keys. But we've talked to people about water, the heat system. We've looked at, of course, there's no hydro, looking at putting the hydro back on it, what it would entail, and septic. We've had people for the last couple of years been making contributions that are interested in this because we've been working on this for quite a while. Even the Strathroy Museum is starting to make donations. They just donated a great collection to us. So there's a lot of people on board hoping this happens to promote Napier, a little something extra for the community, and we want to do it. That's it.
Do the councillors have any questions?
So looking at this picture here, no, yeah, so where are you proposing the parking be?
Right directly in front of the school, you can see it's on the intersection of Mary Street and High Market Street.
And is that enough parking, or would you
Yes,
need more?
66 by 66 is a big chunk of property. It is a small, it's not gonna be drawn like the Strathroy Museum, which I really don't know how, it's not gonna be a steady jam-packed full of people, that's for sure.
And what's this orange thing on the map, or that's?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay, sorry.
I dropped something there, I think. It was around Halloween.
Are there any other questions?
So you kind of run it, like it wouldn't be open all the time.
We have friends that own the Forest Museum, and there's like a society, a historical society there. And they run basically from May 2-4 up to Thanksgiving. They run 3 to 4 days a week from 11 till 4. And anytime after that, it's 1 day a week. I think it's Wednesdays from 11 till 3, something like that. So, like I said, it's not a paying proposition. It's all volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it would be on and advertised. It would be a website designed for it, and it would be on appointments. If a school wants to come, we'll set up a day for it. Historical tours. Nancy and I have done.
We have
several.
people coming to our log cabin too all the time that come to
Yeah.
see what a cabin was like in 1812. There's no heat power. Well, there is heat, I should say that.
Woods.
But there's no hydro in it or anything. But people love to see the cabin restored as to what it was, right? And then,
1850, yeah.
like even we used to run some, or we did it for the Napier's store to raise money for the Napier store when we did ghost walks, and you wouldn't believe how many people ask us to do ghost walks still again, and that everybody loved them. So I'm hoping that maybe we could do something like that too.
We had buses come in from Windsor back then when we used to do the Ghost Walks. It was really popular. We were even asked yesterday in Florence where they were eating supper. I said, aren't you the people that did that? Would you ever do that again? You know, it's like, well, I don't know, we've been thinking about it for a long time, but, you know, it could be quite a draw for the community.
Is there anything else we need to hear, Kathy? No? Okay. Well, I believe we discussed this in camera because it's about property, right? So,
Yes, certainly.
so, actually, we will have that discussion and once we have something to tell you, we will get right back to you.
Okay.
Perfect, we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks
I'm
for your
good.
time.
Thank you very much, folks.
Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
I think I've got your notes here. I think you
That's
have.
the notes I thought I left at home. I was rewriting them on the way here. I thought I left that at home.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the staff reports. And we're gonna continue on with our clerk's report.
Thanks, Mayor Smith. My last report that I have for council is regarding the cat control bylaw update. At the April 1st, 2019 council meeting, the following resolution was approved by council, so moved by Councilor Brody, seconded by Councilor Clark. Resolved that council directs staff to further investigate municipal cat control bylaws and report back to council. At the May 6th council meeting, there was another resolution approved by council, moved by Mayor Smith, seconded by Councilor Clark. Resolved that council directs staff to draft a bylaw to regulate cats in residential settlement areas with a maximum of 3 cats per household, with the residential hamlet areas to be included as a schedule to the bylaw, including cost of tabling, which is to be determined when staff further investigate. My third attachment there is the draft cat bylaw. However, I'm at an impasse. We have nowhere to take cats once we catch them. We were supposed to have our animal control officer here tonight and she declined coming. She does not want anything to do with us taking cats to her unless she knows for sure that they're domesticated and if she has room. She is not interested in the tagging program. She doesn't have the resources for it. It's not that she probably couldn't get the resources for it, she just doesn't have it right now. So she's not interested in tagging. I've talked with other municipalities in Middlesex County. They don't have a cat control bylaw. I've reached out to App and Cat Rescue. They will not entertain taking our cats. However, they will work with our citizen group to form a cat rescue. Well, we have a cat rescue, so to speak. We have one individual that's taking on that task herself, working with 3 other agencies. I've talked to Cat Chance in Watford, and they are interested in taking our cats. They don't take cats. Cat Chance takes cats that have been house pets, so they've been domesticated, and then they're dumped off, and they take them and rehabilitate them for adoption. So I'm kind of at a loss what to do here. I don't have anybody to take cats for us unless we become a client with East Village Animal Hospital, and of course there's a cost for that and there's an application process for that. So that's outlined in my staff report. My second attachment, which is from May of this year. So I'm looking for direction from council as to how we go about putting a bylaw in place. Because to put a bylaw in place, right now it would just be a piece of paper and we have nothing to enforce it with.
Councilor Clark?
Question,
Yeah.
Mayor. So I think the reason we went down this path is because the self-appointed rescuer that looks after, as you alluded to, is the actual issue. So can we not have the bylaw the only speak to the number of cats, so that if there's a complaint and the bylaw officer goes there and there's 12 cats on the laneway, they're on that person's property and they're allowing those cats to be there. So they can say they're not theirs, but they're not shooing them away, they're not discouraging them. So how could the verbiage be crafted in such a way to perhaps just do that?
Through you, Mayor, that becomes, for legal liability, we'd have to take it to the solicitor how we can word it, because we can't just say because there's 12 cats on that property that they're hers. It's kind of like saying you got 12 birds on your property, so they're all your birds, or you got 3 raccoons, they're your raccoons. So it becomes, that's something we would have to do once we figure out where we're going to take the cats and how we're going to tag the cats. That'd be the next step, is we'd have to take this bylaw and take it to our solicitor to see if it's all legality lined out. Where
Because I
it's
think the problem is
lawful.
most of them are feral, right? That is the issue, so how are you gonna
Yep.
catch them?
Yep,
And how are you gonna tag them?
yep. That is the issue. With talking with other municipalities, so what they do is basically the same thing. If I was to get a phone call and someone would say, I have a cat and it's not mine, come get it. Okay, well, I don't have a bylaw to enforce it, but we got cages, so you're more than welcome to come get a cage. And we have a couple of cages, but then I have to provide them with, or I would provide them with the London Humane Society phone number and then Vicky Kyle's phone number, because then they'd have to call them to figure out if either one would entertain taking the cat. Because the Vicky Kyle or anybody for that matter, as soon as they see the cat, they're gonna know right away if it's domesticated or feral without how they're looking at it. So that we can't force somebody to take these cats once we catch them. So then that leaves us, well, then what do we do with it? Without having OSPCA on us because we're being inhumane.
Councilor Bennett?
So right now, the municipal solicitor has not looked at this.
No,
draft
because I
yet,
don't
but-
have all the details in it
No.
to be bothered to take it to them just yet.
And to my mind, the municipal act only gives us voluntary status. It doesn't give us any legal right. So, unless we had the regulations that we could pass it under, I would be in favor of supporting this bylaw.
Now, speaking with Cat Chance over the weekend, they are looking into what they call a trap, neuter, return program, but it's not getting rid of cats. All it does is take them and neuter, spay them, and then put them back into where they came from, which isn't helping the initial response from council that I got for direction. So
There are other people in the municipality, and I won't mention who, but there is an individual that every time he finds one in the barn, he's taking it as an expense and getting it dealt with, so that they're not multiplying.
right,
So then,
yeah,
then he does not feed them either.
yeah.
So, but I think that's very great that he does that,
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
yeah, if you're feeding them, you're taking ownership, I mean.
And that's where we have to find out through definitions, if we can use that as a definition, and if it holds water, if we say that's your cat because you're feeding it, if we can get away with saying that, or
And see, I don't know, that's
yeah, and
what
I
I'm
don't
saying
know
about the
either, and
verbiage,
that's,
how that.
it's all in definitions.
Yeah.
Some of the larger centers, so City of London and City of Sarnia, they have a cat control bylaw. They also have the resources to look after it, and they also have their own humane society that will take their cats. One of the definitions I've seen is they've designated cat rescue places such as Appen Cat Rescue, Cat Chance, or anybody who takes in the cat themselves and gets them put up for adoption themselves as a foster home. So it's not somebody who owns the cat anymore. They are a foster home and then they're exempted from the bylaw. So
that person could be a foster, then that's another problem.
they could be actual owner to these cats and not really be a foster home either. So I feel like every time I turn a corner, I'm going up against a brick wall. It's not for lack of trying.
No, I see you've done that.
So I don't know if it's something that council wants to wait to entertain. When I was talking to Cat Chance this weekend, that they are looking at a trap, neuter, and return program, if that's something we wait. They don't have it in place yet. And there will be a cost to it, and they don't have any of those details because they still have to figure out that, and they have to get people in place in order to do this program because they're at max capacity and they just don't have the room for cats themselves. So I don't know if that's something we
So
want to
why
get
don't we
into.
just have you hold off and see how they make out, and maybe we can
'Cause I-
learn something from them?
Sure, because
I still feel a responsibility to the ratepayers
Sure.
to address this, and if I lived in a settlement area, and my flower beds are pretty good, and I'd be some ticked off if, I had to keep getting this stuff out of there, right? And there is another municipality where they're having problems right now,
Yep.
because there is an individual, and I won't mention which municipality, a self-appointed, still a vigilante, so there's dead cats showing up in the middle of the streets and stuff, so I don't know that we wanna go that route.
No.
Yeah.
I'm also in contact with a neighboring municipality in Middlesex County that is also in the same boat we're in, and they're looking at putting a bylaw together. So I've been working with the clerk. Well, what do you got in yours? Well, this is what I got in mine. Can I have some of yours? You can have some of mine.
Yeah.
But at the end, there's still no result as to where we're taking these for us, because Appen is not interested in taking our cats, and that's the issue I'm hearing, is there's just too many of them, so we need to put them to someplace else. I won't say get rid of them, but put them someplace else, and without having our own cat rescue or our own vet clinic that's willing to take them and put them up for adoption, we're kind of stuck holding the cat cage.
I only have one solution for a cat, you don't wanna hear it, so. Anyway,
Is there any other questions or comments?
I think if we just sort of stand on it for a bit and just see how our neighbors are making up,
Yeah.
maybe we can pull something, and maybe there's, if we let them do a little bit of the heavy lifting, and then,
Yep.
maybe we could end up with something to take to the lawyer, but I think
Well-
maybe we're,
Yeah, and the next thing we're gonna need to look at, which I think can be dealt with internally between staff, is looking at our hamlet residential designated areas. How do you tell somebody who's designated rural residential that they can have a cat, but the house right beside them that's designated hamlet residential can't? That's an issue that I see coming forth with our maps, with the way that they're laid out. So that will have to be addressed too, but that's
We're not
probably the
there
least of
yet.
our
We're not
problems
there
right
yet,
now,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought we had the solution for that, which wasn't gonna be zoning, it was gonna be using the official plan settlement areas.
The official plan is good on a widespread, but if you wanna get, specific areas,
Yep.
it's the zoning that you wanna get into. Which other municipalities do use zoning, but we have 4 different residential categories.
Mhm.
So that's probably why we have maybe a little more, research to do in that area. And with us being so rural, it makes it hard.
Dr. Hendricks?
Yeah, I agree that we should just wait and see what comes along. At the very least, neutering isn't a solution, but it at least eases the problem and maybe slows it down. I mean, neutered cats generally are a lot less energetic than,
so how do you catch a feral cat? You just with a trap, is that?
I imagine that's how you have to catch
It's not
skunks
gonna
and-
come up to you and kitty,
No.
I don't think, yeah.
No, but they're generally hungry, so.
Oh, are they?
Trap with food is what the one is, how she's able to catch them. And I'm also keeping in contact with her too, because she's been providing us proof with what's been leaving
Okay.
Kerwood. But as I've been talking with App and Cat Rescue and Cat Chance, they both can confirm that removing them isn't the solution, because when you have cats that dominate an area, it stops from other ones from coming in. And when you remove cats, it leaves it open for other ones to come in,
Oh, really?
which I didn't
I didn't
realize
know
that.
that, okay.
So
You're gonna be able to write a book when you're done.
I'll be known as the cat lady.
Yeah.
So I have kept contact information for both Appen and Cat Chance, as well as the municipality that I'm working with to see how this all pans out.
Okay, so let's deal with the report first. Mover and seconder for approval of the report, Councillor Clark and Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And the direction is to what we want to do with this
To defer.
until
Until further
Such time that she
information
can obtain
received.
further information from our counterparts.
So moved by Councillor McKinnon, second by Councillor Clark. Jennifer will have something for that. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, moving
It's
into.
never easy. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Bet you a lot of us didn't realize we were learning so much about cats. Anyways, moving on to our CIO Treasurer's report. Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. The first report is the invoice payment approval listing from June 14, 2019 to July 4, 2019 in the amount of $1,212,192.68.
Is there any questions on the accounts?
I had some and I flagged them and they're not showing as flagged anymore. I don't know how come. Hang on a sec. Oh, here we go. So I have just on the accounts payable a couple of, so the Canadian linen and uniform, so what are we laundering?
Through you, Mayor. What we do is the roads department has coveralls
Okay.
that we send in and out. Also some supplies for the road department coming in through there, as well as our mats for our front
Okay.
calls here.
And then a telephone banking error, Hardy Thomas Stewart. So how, like he tried to do a
The gentleman made
telephone
an
online
error.
payment,
Yes.
and then you just reversed it?
He paid us incorrectly,
Oh,
so we're just
so-
refunding his
Okay.
payment.
And
We don't refund directly through our bank account because we close it every month, or our tax account. So when those payments come in, there's no money held in that account,
Oh,
so we
okay.
refund it through our main account.
Okay, thanks. That's all I got.
Any other questions at all? Okay, mover and seconder to resolve that council approve the account listings for the period of June 14th to July 4th in the amount of $1,212,192.68 as presented by the CIO Treasurer. Councillor Brody, and seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
The second report is the tax collection policy report. It was circulated on the June 17th agenda for council's review. There was no comments received up until now. If there are no comments, it's being recommended that the policy be approved by council.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the policy?
Just through you to Kathy, well laid out.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
The next report is the municipal drain assessment billing payment and debenture policy report. Again, we don't have any written policy pertaining to municipal drain assessment billing payment and debenturing. It is good practice to have a formal policy for municipal collections, which incorporates good and acceptable business practices and provides consistency and fairness to its customers and the township. The policy, there's no financial impact for the creation of the policy, and the draft policy is attached for council's review, and we will bring it back in the next meeting for any comment that you may have or any amendments.
Okay, mover and seconder to receive the report. Deputy Hendricks and Councillor Brody. All those in favor?
Discussion.
This is just for the report. We'll talk about the policy.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry, go ahead, yep.
And that's carried, I assume. Any question on the
Yeah.
policy?
No, I just wanna say this dovetails nicely with what Jim said earlier, so that we're not giving stuff the way we should be, and we're getting every tax dollar we need, so that's excellent, thank you very much.
Okay. Is there any other questions on the policy at all? Capital for comments over the next couple of weeks. Mover and seconder to resolve the council accept the draft municipal drain assessment billing, payment and debenture policy for review to be discussed at the next regular council meeting. Councilor McKinnon and Deputy Mayor Hendricks. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
And my last report is in regards to the Strathroy District Chamber of Commerce. We've been a member of the Strathroy District Chamber of Commerce since 2014, and in 2016 we hosted a Biz After Biz event. We've been approached by the SDCC to present an award at the 2019 Awards Night, which is the Business Excellence Awards. There currently are 5 awards given out. If the township approves an award, we will be the 6th award. The cost to sponsor it is $400 per year, which includes 2 tickets to the event and a video of the winning business. There is no requirement for a long-term commitment, but they do want a 2-year sponsorship confirmed. The proposed award criteria has not been finalized, but the recommendation is that the nominees excel in providing outstanding service to their customers on a consistent basis. The nominee and staff go above and beyond to ensure customer satisfaction with their products or services. The nominee recognizes and rewards employees with positive incentive for providing excellent customer service. The nominee is a member of the Strathroy District Chamber of Commerce, and as well the nominee's business is located in the township of Adelaide, Metcalfe. To accommodate our award, the Commonwealth Financial Business Excellence Award would recognize a business in Strathroy, Canada. There is some time sensitivity to this award. They would like to know by tomorrow morning if we're interested in sponsoring it. The sponsorship fee of $400 is not specified in the 2019 budget, but the impact of including this amount would be minimal. And the recommendation is that you receive the report, and we're looking for direction on the award.
Any discussion? Councilor Brody?
Just a question through there. Did we know how many businesses are in Adelaide Metcalfe that are a member of the, like, do we even know? Is there only 1, 2, or 10, 20? Like,
I don't know. She didn't have that information readily available.
I can think of probably 5, 10 that I know of off the top of my head.
yeah,
but I'm not sure.
I've never been to the, I know my dad goes, but I've never been.
So that was one of my questions. My second question is, I don't, maybe it's not communicated here, just before you jump into page 2, to accommodate the Adelaide Metcalfe Award, the Commonwealth Financial Business Excellence Award would recognize the business in Strathroy, Canada. So that's a separate award.
Yes.
So why is that mentioned?
The criteria is exactly the same, except that ours would be for business in Adelaide Metcalfe, whereas the Commonwealth Award right now is for any member of the District Chamber of Commerce, and they would move aside and just do for Strathroy, Canada, and we would do Adelaide Metcalfe.
So ours would be called the Adelaide Metcalfe Financial Business Excellence Award, or something like that?
So it would be the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe Business Excellence Award.
Okay. Yeah, because I was reading that thinking, why the Commonwealth not sponsoring their own award? It
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me when I read that, so thanks for clarifying.
I had like
Okay.
The
So,
idea, so just so you know, so the idea would be is that the Business Excellence Awards, there would be 2 of them. One would be for the Strathroy area, other one would be the district area, so Strathroy, Canada, and then Adelaide.
so I'll speak, can I say something?
Yep.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think we have to send the message that it's not a budget, and that they would have to bring it back to us next year, and we would consider that. Had we gone with the $2,000 slush, when we were approving the hospital stuff, we would have had room to do that, but we don't. And if we approve this, it opens the floodgates for everybody else, and we have to be fair and consistent. So I move that we do not participate this year, and you can let them know that they could possibly bring it forward for review for next year's budget.
Do you have a second here?
Yeah.
Okay, Deputy Hendricks. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And then we just need a motion to resolve that council receive the Strathroy District Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Award report as presented by the CEO Treasurer. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Okay, we'll go into other business. Is there anything for other business at all? Deputy Hendricks?
Yeah, just grabbing my calendar, I see, we've got a meeting on the 3rd of September, which would make our next meeting probably the 18th, or that, sorry, not the 16th. I'm wondering if we'd be able to move it back 1 week, since we have an extra Monday in September. If that's enough notice to move it, to the 23rd.
Cause we're planning on having 3 meetings in September, tentatively. We've got the 3rd, the 9th, and the 30th is tentative.
3rd, the 16th, and the 30th.
Yeah, sorry, 3rd, 16th,
Yes.
did I say 19th?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry.
Okay.
And that's because we were gonna be light in August as it was, right? Okay.
We have one meeting scheduled for August.
Oh, okay. Then probably not gonna make the 16th, but I didn't have the 3rd one written down.
So it'll be the 3rd, 16th, and 30th, that's what's.
And we have tentative by the 30th.
Anything else for other business? Councillor Clark?
Yeah, I think that we should, give some consideration to, striking a committee, to meet, and not necessarily made up of all council people, but having ratepayers included in that, to, address, the recreation in the park and all of those sorts of things. I don't know if you wanna do town hall style to get people's input as to what they would like as ratepayers, or if it's more of a strategic planning issue where council has to look at the bigger picture and move backwards. But I think we can't just keep pushing it forward, we have to deal with it, like the park, and like it's fine to put some Band-Aids on a few things, but I think we need to take a look at the bigger picture, and I don't think the longer we wait, it's just gonna get pushed to the next month, and depending on what that looks like, I think it might be valuable to have some community members involved.
So you're looking for something where it's getting information from this committee to then bring back to council to then.
Yeah, to
so
make
we
a
know-
recommend,
Yeah.
so then council can kind of make an informed decision as to what it is people want,
Mhm.
and how they want it, where they want it, and what they want. I don't know what it looks like, I'm sort of just doing this because I'm thinking, we can't keep pushing it away, and you were very good, I saw your email about, getting some funding, additional
yes.
funding,
Yep.
and that was very good, so, that's just more money in our coffers to help do something, whatever that is.
Yep.
So, yeah, anyway, I don't know, the rest you can jump in and give your opinion.
Councillor Brody?
Yeah, through the mayor, I agree, like, I think, we've talked about, the park's been talked about for multiple councils. It's just, nothing's happening, we have to get moving on it. There's money there, we have to get doing something.
Okay, so maybe we should have a staff report from the next meeting that kind of outlines the purpose of the committee, so then we have kind of a timeline as to what we want the committee the structure of the committee, and then kind of the reporting back structure.
Cause even the day we did our road trip, there were some ideas kicked around then, and those should be either investigated or to find out if they're even something that would be on the table. Without getting into detail here, what some of those conversations were.
Just a comment, I think we need to, decide, like, who do we want, like, do we need an optimist, do we need some firemen, do we need, what else, other things in the community do we need? How big of a committee do you want? Do you want small? Do you want it? How do you get all the ideas in?
Well, you could do a town hall style for for collection, cause when you start just doing a focus group of 5 or 6 people, it's their interest, it's not, I think you need to look at the bigger picture, that would be how I would collect the information, but then it's, where's it gonna be and how do you action that and what's that gonna look like, right?
Well, we could probably do something here in the basement. You wouldn't think there'd be 200 people. Should easily be able to accommodate something here.
We know we can fit 80.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think at the end of the day, I think the town hall's structure would make the most amount of sense, and then as much as the committee is nice, at the end of the day, council's the ones that's making the decision.
Yes.
So
Yeah, 'cause it
It might
could
be
be
better off to have,
property discussion, there could be
yeah,
lots of
it might be a
issues.
good idea to have it so it's a town hall meeting or two, and then once we come back with more information or something like that. But anyways, we'll have somebody do
Yeah,
a
that's
report
just
for
my
the next
thoughts
meeting.
anyway.
Anything else for other business? Councilor
Well,
Brody?
just another comment, like,
Yep.
tying into that with the talk of what we're gonna do with the hub, and, you know, nothing's been more brought up about that, about moving council chambers to the basement and opening up the offices here, nothing else has been brought up about that, like, there's a lot of lingering things that we need to get moving on.
Councilor McKinnon?
And I wondered, the staff have been so good at preparing policies for us, and that you started somewhat on a collection of it when you gave us the strategic plan and some of the billing processes and that. And I wonder if we couldn't combine that and make like a policy manual so that we have it and we're not always bugging the office. We can look to the manual. Then if we have a question, we can call. Some of our policies tonight, just put them in.
Anything else for other business at all?
Well, if that all happens before the next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, I just want it on the radar. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's
Cause the
right.
thing is, we
But
can't keep pushing it forward,
Yeah.
cause there's other, like, it's all part of this.
If,
hub
yeah,
and
if we're gonna
everything else,
start
right?
having more events at the park, like Adelaide Metcalfe Day, we have to get the upgrades done.
Park was full tonight again. Oh, it's full.
Well, it's soccer night.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to any meetings with the next
No, I'm not.
So the next thing on my agenda is the bylaws, but we do have a closed session portion.
I think because we had to redo it from the
Oh,
Thursday to the
yes, I
Friday.
had some
we-
technical difficulties and
So the first thing we need to do is have a motion to add the closed session
yes.
section onto our agenda, and then we'll have a motion to go into close.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Councilor Kinnon and seconded by Councilor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. The next motion is to go convene into closed session at 8:02 p.m. under section 239B and D. Word seconder. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, so we just reconvene from the closed session at 9:12 p.m. and we just have one item for the Rising report, and it's resolved that council and staff proceed as discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Councilor Kinnon and Deputy Hendricks, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, so we just have our bylaws on our agenda, and it's resolved that all three readings be given to bylaw number 49 of 2019, Emergency Management Program, bylaw number 50, Structure and Function of Joint Health and Safety Committee, bylaw number 51, Health and Safety Policy, 52, Joint Health and Safety Committee Policy, and bylaw number 53, Site Plan Agreement for 9 2nd Street, and bylaw number 54, Confirmed Council Proceedings, and that the bylaws be signed by the mayor and clerk and the corporate scale be attached. Deputy Hendricks and Councilor Clark, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And it was just noted, just a reminder that the Warden's Charity Golf Tournament is this Friday, so we'll see some people out there. It should be a fun time, and I think it's going to be a very successful event. Motion to adjourn at 9:15. Deputy Hendricks and Councilor McKinnon, all those in favor? I saw a hand up over here. Opposed, and that's carried.